Smith. What's up, Ed?
Hey, Billy, great to be on with you, man. Appreciate you giving that PTH shout out, Permanent Township High School, man.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I love we tend to get I try to get a lot of local guys that have made it to the big. We've had Kevin Ross on, a couple guys. Penn Stalk in high school has a load of them, so it's really cool to have you on. And I love it when local guys do real well.
Appreciate that, man. And people don't realize that our area, that South Jersey area, was so loaded with talent for such a long time. And, I came across a lot of guys throughout my career from the area. And like I said, we just supplied the whole nation with a lot of athletic talent, a lot of good dudes and young ladies out there.
I'll tell you what, man, South Jersey football doesn't get any better than that. Hey, Ed, so I wanted to get you on to talk about your Super Bowl experiences. But before we do that, you had a baseball career. You played baseball before you went to football.
Yeah, I did it. I came right out of high school in '87. I was drafted by the White Sox in the 7th round, and went back and forth with them for a little bit. Ended up putting 9 years in the minor leagues. Topping out at AAA. But White Sox, Brewers, Cubs, Indians for those 9 years, and then made the decision after the '95 season to give my shot at football. And God blessed me to make that work, and then put a few years in the NFL as well. And, obviously, made it to the Super Bowl. So a lot of a ring around the rosy, but, I got it done, through 15 years, man.
You played for the Eagles in 1999. That'd be pretty cool, coming home and playing for your hometown team.
Man, that was part of the one of the funnest experiences. It was like being back in high school almost. I actually stayed with mom and dad across the Ben Franklin down back to Browns Mills. So I was commuting every day, and like I said, it felt like I was back in high school. It's just I was doing it in the green and white with the Eagles. But great experience. Andy Reid's first year, Donovan McNabb, his rookie season. I was there for a few weeks before I ended up going to Detroit from there. But like I said, it was an outstanding experience, and representing the hometown and playing, like I said, for the Eagles.
That had to be like surreal, like you growing up watching the Eagles your whole life, and then all of a sudden you get an opportunity to play for it. That had to be pretty cool.
Well, especially after all the years, because I went away a little bit with baseball, and people kind of, they forget about you when you're not in the headlines every week. So when I resurfaced after all those years, and there I was, like I said, locally, man, I had teachers and friends and family, coming to hang out, watch us play in Philly. Also, when we went up to play the Giants, everybody came up from representing in the Meadowlands. So, like I said, it was just a great experience. One of those things that I look back on, and it was like so much fun. And, you have to pinch yourself to realize you're in that situation. But it was definitely one of the best parts of my career.
We're talking with Ed Smith, former NFL tight end for the Falcons. You played in the 1998 NFC Championship. You were winners there. What was that like when you guys knew that you were going to the Super Bowl? What's that? Describe that feeling when you like 13 seconds left on the clock and you're going. What was that like?
Billy, I'm getting a tingle just thinking about it right now, because we went up there, we went up to Minnesota, 11-point dogs. Nobody in the world gave us a chance, and we fought all the way through it. And at one point, they were lining up for a field goal that would have iced it, and it went wide left, and we had a shot. We got to overtime, and I was actually on the field goal unit to seal the game for us. I was on the left wing, and just the nervousness and the anticipation. Ball gets up over the line of scrimmage. You see it going through the highlights, and it was like that old Toyota commercial, man. I jumped in the air, and it was just pandemonium broke loose on our sideline. The entire stadium went silent. But, man, it was just the greatest experience. My brother Irv was actually in the stadium that day. He was playing for the Niners at the time. We beat them the week before to even get to Minnesota. So we had our little small crowd of about 100 up there, and, we all celebrated, trophy celebration, all the cheers, everything. It was unbelievable. Like I said, to this day, every year I get I just reminisce about that experience, and man, it can bring a tear to your eye, the joy,
You're getting me pumped up, Ed. You just mentioned you guys were underdogs. What do you like? What would you rather be, an underdog in a big game or the favorite?
Man, I tell you what, that's a great question, Billy. I would actually, oh my goodness, I would like to be the favorite, knowing that, you have the edge, but I don't know, that underdog role, man, we wore it well that year, 14-2 finish, but nobody even still gave us credit throughout that season, and obviously Minnesota was 15-1 that year. So it was one of those things where, we wore that badge, like we were disrespected, and we rode that all the way to the Super Bowl. Obviously, we came up a little short against the favorite, the Broncos that year, and that was just an experience in itself. But going into the big game, I'd rather be the favorite, but you don't get to pick which side you're on.
Yeah, we're talking with Ed Smith, former NFL tight end. He played for the Falcons in the NFC Championship champions there in 1998. You can follow him on Twitter at Ed Smith Speaks. And now you're doing the Believe in Cardinals podcast. That's got to be pretty cool.
Yeah, I do that. And also I'll be celebrating 4 years on it used to be formerly NBC Sports Radio out here. It's now a different affiliate. But I'll be celebrating 4 years with the Easy Sports Talk show as well out here every Saturday from 10 to 12. So I've been getting my feet wet with media for a long time, Billy, and I know how hard it is to do it. So that's why I love shows like yourself.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. You get to talk about childhood. You've grown up as a kid playing sports, and they get to talk about it. Can't get better than that. Hey, Ed, let me ask you a question. You're in Arizona. What brought you to Arizona? Why did you end up in Arizona?
Initially, Billy, what happened when I got traded from the White Sox to the Brewers in the middle of the 91 season, before that, I always stayed in Florida because at the time spring training was in Florida with the White Sox. When I got traded to the Brewers, spring training was out here. So after 92 spring training, I went away, played. I came back here that first winter and spent it and fell in love with it. So I, went back and forth for about 3 or 4 years, spending my winters out here. Then when I got switched over to football, took me back east for a little bit, and I ended up buying my house in Atlanta, was there for a bit. And then right around 2003, man, I just got called back out here. This beautiful weather. Right now it's 70 degrees. I know you guys are going through with all that snowing over everything.
It's snowing right
hard,
now.
Man. Yeah, I know we have to deal with the harsh summers, but, man, it's a great trade-off when, like I said, everybody's dealing with snow, and I'm running around in shorts and a T-shirt right now.
That's awesome. Hey, yesterday I had a former punter won a Super Bowl with the Rams, Mike Horan, and he gave his perspective as a punter. I want to get a position player talk about this year's Super Bowl, and how do you think who do you like, and how do you see this thing shaking out?
Man, this is one of those tough ones to choose because of the experience of Brady, but lack of experience around him, obviously. And then you got KC, who's coming off, their victory last year, the defending champions. This is, this game is going to be really interesting. Who gets the upper hand the quickest? And, the turnover battle. Is Tampa going to try to keep up and score with KC or try to slow them down with that defense? I've been going back and forth all week, Billy, on a prediction. I finally had to make one yesterday on my show. And this one, I find it hard betting against Andy and Mahomes with 2 weeks to prepare, all the tricks and gadgets that they have and all the weapons. But, Tom and Tampa are going to give them a fight. I just see this one probably being a little bit of a high-scoring one, probably 34-30 KC. But like I said, I wouldn't put it by Tom and then pull it out. Nothing will surprise me in this game. But like I said, I'm looking for a really entertaining game, not one of those sloppy ones like we had a couple years ago. What was it, New England 13, Rams 3 or something like that.
3, yeah.
This one's going to be exciting, I think. It's going to be a lot of fun. One play could decide it, and that, who knows, it might even be a special teams play, but looking forward to a really good game.
We're talking with former Falcon Ed Smith, former NFL tight end. He's now with the Believe in Cardinals podcast. You follow him on Twitter at Ed Smith Speaks. And Ed, here's how I'm looking at this. We're watching history. You're seeing like a passing of the torch, if you will, from the GOAT to the guy, the new GOAT, because he's good. The path that he's on, he's just amazing to watch. He's fun to watch. I'm just excited to watch this game tonight.
Absolutely, and it's so hard to root against. A lot of people root against Tom because of his success. I respect what he's done. 10 rings, 10 times to the big game. But you are very right, Billy. This could be the passing of the torch. Mahomes is so early in his career, could be his second already with Andy and how they put that organization together. We could see him going, multiple times to the Super Bowl. But I will say, in order to beat a man, you got to beat the man. So until this one is done and there's all zeros on the clock, I'm not putting anything by Tom and BA and that staff they got over there. So, but like I said, when it's all done, we can start, kind of lighting that torch. But until, like I said, you never know what can happen, man.
Yeah, my heart is with Tom, but my head's with Patrick Mahomes. Man. You just can't count them out, like you said.
Absolutely, man. But like I said, more than anything, I'm just hoping for a great game. Whoever wins, I just want it to be one of those that we can remember and not, and I just have that anticipation that it will be. I don't see this as a blowout or one team taking the other one to the, behind the woods. I think this is going to be a really entertaining game.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ed, I wish we had more time. We're up against it. These are short segments.